question is for the Premier. We know this Liberal government can't get anything right with the Neonic ban. The Liberals are telling farmers they can no longer use this pesticide. Yet, in the next breath, they're telling farmers that they must protect their crops for the corn flea beetle. Well, guess what, Mr. Speaker? The only possible treatment for this pest that has been approved in Canada is, you guessed it, Neonics. Mr. Speaker, does the Premier agree with the principle that agriculture policy should be based on science, not emotion? And, Mr. Speaker, can the Premier name one single grain farmer in the province of Ontario that supports their reckless policy?
Please. Thank you. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, on this side of the House, we believe that pollinator health is very, very important to the ecology of our planet, Mr. Speaker. And over the last few years, overwinter honeybee mortality rates have exceeded what is normally expected. I understand, Mr. Speaker, that this is a huge concern. It's not just a concern among beekeepers, Mr. Speaker. This should be a concern for all of us, that we have strong pollinator health, Mr. Speaker, because really that is how the ecosystem works. So we've experienced in Ontario.
My intent is to remain consistent with my expectations from both sides. Questions put, answers put. I need to hear them. Please.
A large number of acute bee deaths, Mr. Speaker, spring, summer and fall months. We're taking a precautionary approach, Mr. Speaker.
Immediately after I ask for attention, the minister from Prince Edward Hastings decides to challenge the member. I don't have a crystal ball. Member, come to order.
Precautionary approach, Mr. Speaker, and Ontario farmers who can demonstrate the need will continue to have access to neonicotinoid-treated seeds, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary. Here on Bruce.
Of Environment and Climate Change. Speaker, I know how much the minister is on Twitter, and I can tell you, if he cared to know what farmers think, he wouldn't be blocking some grain farmers from his personal account. The truth is, Speaker, I worry that the Liberals don't care what farmers think. Farmers continue to ask this government for clarification on how to protect their crops this season for the corn flea beetle, since the only treatment available is a seed treatment. But the minister won't say. And in fact, Speaker, government officials have admitted to farmers that the minister has the power to fix this mistake and allow Ontario farmers to protect their crop this year against the corn flea beetle. So, Speaker, why won't the minister act? The minister has the power to work with farmers and prevent the loss of crops this season. So, Speaker, will the minister put politics aside today and actually work with grain farmers to develop this solution? Thank you very much.
The original question's directed to the Premier. It'll be directed to the Premier. It'll be the Premier's choice as to who answers the question. Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I will just say to the leader and to the member opposite that this actually was an issue when I was the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Speaker, Agriculture and Food, and we were working with beekeepers, Mr. Speaker. We were working with grain and oilseed farmers, Mr. Speaker, and the current minister.
The member from Leeds Grenville. Carry on.
The current Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs and the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Mr. Speaker, have worked very closely together because this is such an important issue. Of course it's an important issue to grain farmers, but, Mr. Speaker, this is an important issue across the agriculture sector, and it's important, Mr. Speaker, across our society that we have strong pollinator health. Farmers who can demonstrate the need still can use neonicotinoid-treated seeds, Mr. Speaker, but the fact is we have to make sure that we have strong bees in this program.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Back to the Premier. Premier, the facts speak for themselves. And, Speaker, the Liberals have botched the rollout of their Neonics plan so badly they are now facing lawsuits from farmers. In fact, 5 busloads of grain farmers attended a hearing yesterday in Toronto to get the courts to clean up the Liberals' mess. Speaker, how many farmers will face financial hardship if changes aren't made to the ban? But you know what? Sadly, the Liberals refuse to listen. Speaker, does the Premier not understand the concerns of Ontario farmers? Or is it the Liberals' new agricultural policy to do what we say, or we'll see you in court?
Let's hear it from
Mr. Speaker, I would just say that, there has been an enormous amount of pressure from other jurisdictions in Europe and so on, Mr. Speaker, to actually put a ban in place on neonics. Mr. Speaker, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We said, and I said, and the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs have said that putting a ban in place was not based in science. That wasn't what we were going to do. Didn't leap to that conclusion, Mr. Speaker. We've taken a precautionary approach, Mr. Speaker. Quebec has adopted and supports the same policy, Mr. Speaker. And as I have said, Ontario farmers who demonstrate the need, because there are different conditions in different parts of the province, who can demonstrate the need, can still use neonicotinoids, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.